What's up, smooth babies? Welcome to Bittermarks. It's your favorite non-wrestling wrestling podcast coming to you every Friday morning at bittermarks.com or wherever you get your podcasts from. If this is your first time joining us, thanks for checking us out. Feel free to email us any questions you may have, bittermarks@gmail.com, whether they're about the show, whether it's about wrestling, whether it's about non-wrestling. We want to hear from you, bittermarks@gmail.com. I'm your host. My name is Sasha. I am drinking a white peach ginger ice mountain sparkling water. And I am joined by my dear friend, it's Peewee.
What? Wait a minute. What are you drinking? How many words are in that? Yeah.
White peach ginger, ice mountain sparkling natural spring water.
Wow.
Only the best.
My wife had a 6-word order from Starbucks the other day, grande, I don't even know what it was. The grande tall iced brown sugar oat milk shaken espresso something. And you just outdid her in one drink.
Sure, but hers are preferences. Mine is the name of something.
I don't care. That was unbelievable. What's going on, man? How are you?
You know what I drink? Black coffee. How about that? 2 words. I'm drinking it right now. Woo!
I drink water. That's 1 word. I gotcha.
Damn, you did. We are joined this week by the punctual prince of podcasting from parts unknown Illinois. It's producer Tony.
Ow now, brown cow. What's up, everybody? How we doing?
There's the energy.
New York. Unique New York. The arsonist had oddly shaped feet.
I don't have any energy, actually. I let out a huge yawn when Sasha was doing the intro.
That was
Peewee was dying laughing. Yeah.
Sasha fires up the mics. Yeah. Oh, if this is on YouTube, this is fantastic. It's worth checking out this week. You're literally like 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Tony lets out the biggest yawn in the world as Sasha's introducing the podcast. You powered through wonderfully. It was great, but Tony's decorum is fantastic.
There's a big happy belated birthday to you, Peewee. How about that?
Oh, thank you. Hey. Honestly, I was hoping you wouldn't remember, so I'd have something to throw in your face.
I didn't remember, actually. And on your birthday, I texted you.
I got a message from you on the birthday, so I mean that's remembering. That's good.
Yeah, but that's a fake remembrance. That's like seeing it on Facebook and doing it like. I think Megan told me it was your birthday, and I was like, oh, normally I know this. And this week, and so I didn't. So then I texted you, I forgot your birthday. Sorry about that. To which you replied, thank you, which I didn't mean it as a
as a happy birthday.
As wishes at that point. I just meant to tell you that I'm dropping the ball as a friend. So sorry about that.
I appreciated it. It meant that you're not dropping the ball. It just meant I'm catching up as a friend.
Okay, I like that. That's a good way of thinking.
Good way to look at it, yeah.
Speaking of a good way of thinking, we've gotten 12 emails this week and 2 texts about Ricochet shirts. People are saying that Peewee needs to order these Ricochet shirts by Friday, which is the day this podcast is dropping. Or, get this, Sasha and producer Tony get to pick an item from your eBay store every week until you do.
Ooh, I like this.
And keep it? That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I feel like we already had an ultimatum for this, and I didn't follow through on it.
I don't know. I don't know that to be the case, but I will be visiting your home starting next week.
We know where the good stuff is, Peewee. It's all in the basement.
That's true. Everything. So the good stuff's in the basement, the bad stuff's in the basement. Everything in my life is in the basement.
I will say this, as of last Friday, you told me that you made $600 in 15 minutes on our other podcast, flipsandbumps.com. That money would go fantastic towards 3 Ricochet shirts for your family, because I'm getting sick of seeing you guys wearing matching Macho Man t-shirts. Now, for the 3rd or 4th event that you guys have held, I don't know what you guys are doing over there in COVID Nation. You're wearing the shirt now. Unbelievable. So get those Ricochet shirts. Or I'm slashing your tires and taking G.I. Joe figures.
Oh no, my life's work. I'll get on it. Honestly, the problem is I always say I'm waiting for a WWE shop sale, like when they say buy one, get one for $1. But those only take place on Monday nights during Raw. And Monday night is literally we couldn't be further away from Monday night than we are right now. So by the time Monday night comes around, I always forget about it.
All right, here's the ultimatum. You don't have to do it unless I remind you that the sale is ongoing. How about that?
Oh, if you let me know the sales, yeah, I would definitely do it. In a heart, yeah, in a heart.
All right.
Done deal. Gentleman's wager.
Be talking to you next Monday night.
Sounds great.
Let me write that down. Hold on, I gotta write. Damn it, I don't have a pen.
You're gonna edit this podcast 9 times. You're gonna hear this again.
Oh, yeah,
hey Google, set an alarm for Monday at 7 p.m.
You know my house isn't set up like that. I got some great news today. I talked to our dear friend Santino. If you're unfamiliar with Santino, I would say try to somehow find episode 16 of this podcast, Santinopalooza. It's impossible to find.
Great episode.
Yeah, definitely one of the top 5 episodes we've ever had. Got a message from him today. He is someone who I asked to record us a message for the 100th episode anniversary.
Okay.
And he obliged. He said, I will absolutely do this. You guys heard the episode. And you guys also know that the Scoop and Poop Fantasy Football podcast that Producer Tony is also a part of, they're still waiting on, I believe, was it 2 Halloweens ago he owes you guys a promo from?
It was actually a Thanksgiving promo.
Okay.
From 2019. I'm still waiting on that.
All right, so pre-COVID promos.
So I cut a promo attacking Santino and challenged him to a match in fantasy football. He said he was, quote unquote, working on a promo, and he had a script and everything. And it is now March 16th, 2021. And we have seen 0 promos from Santino. So if it's in the pipeline, yeah, it's going to be a little bit.
Here's the good news. He did say he's still going to do it, which to me means that he either doesn't know that the 100th episode has happened.
Absolutely he doesn't. Right.
Yeah, I think he thinks he's got another like 60 weeks or so to prepare this thing. So,
right.
So we'll see what happens there.
I'm still waiting on him to get back to me and get me not even a promo. I asked him to do a full segment for the episode that I hosted, episode 99, to which he agreed to. And then that was the last I heard from him.
He's agreed to multiple things at the show as a surprise many times.
Let me ask you this. When you referenced Santino to begin with, you said that people would know him if they could access it from episode 16 of our podcast. How do you know offhand that he was on episode 16? Are you staring at the poster right now?
No, man, I know which episode.
You just
Santino
know that? Wow, that's awesome.
I mean, is that accurate? Do you guys have the poster? I'm saying it with confidence, but I'm not sure.
Mine is not on the wall yet, just because I've been lazy.
I got it. It's the one with him as Sting, right?
Sting, yeah.
Yeah, it's 15.
Oh, 15. Okay,
pretty close.
Oh, very close, yeah.
Said it with confidence, and I've been proven wrong.
That's impressive that we got him to actually agree to and do the show within 16 weeks of this.
That's true. Great point.
I mean, that's record time for Santino.
Pluto app, the greatest app on earth. Just wanted to mention to you guys that there's a channel called the Wipeout channel. It shows that TV show, The Wipeout.
Original Wipeout.
Sure. And at night, they show Hole in the Wall.
Yes. So, what about Most Extreme Challenge? Any of that?
That's good stuff. The Kenny Blankenship, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't believe it's on Pluto, but I recently found at least a season or 2 of it free somewhere because I went to look at the DVDs to purchase so that I could always hold them and treasure them. And they are very expensive.
Really?
Because, yeah, they're rare out-of-print DVDs. So.
Do you know that they're making? It's a great show.
Absolutely. And
go back to Hole in the Wall.
More importantly, so was Wipeout. They're bringing Wipeout back. I don't know who the girl host is, but the guy host is John Cena.
Friend of the podcast.
That's right.
Oh, and the girl host is Nicole Byer.
That's right. And I do like her too. Not nearly as much. I don't like Cena and Myers as much as I like John Henson and Joe Wagner. Joe Wagner, the original 2 on Wipeout. That is a duo.
That's the guy who invented the Muppets and someone from the TV show Dynasty. Who is that?
John Henson's the guy with the white streak on his hair, the original host of Talk Soup.
Oh, yeah. I tell my wife I look like him all the time because I have like 4 gray hairs over here.
That guy's the man. There you go.
Nice. Halloween costume right there, Sash.
Yeah, Pluto. Whoosh. I was on Facebook the other day, and I happened to hit like check recent. I don't check the regular Facebook too often, but I did happen to see that somebody put a weird picture up, and I was looking at it. It was someone we went to high school with, and the picture was like some mannequins that were lying in a hallway or something. And apparently it was something that was going on in Stratford Square Mall. And so I laughed, and I clicked on the comments, and it was just basically like, look how bad this mall is. And you guys know we've talked about this mall before.
Yes, and somebody else.
And so she was like, whatever, this is a horrible mall. And a person responded to her. And the person who responded to her was actually in the DCWA at one point, Bama. You guys know Bama?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I remember him.
So he said something, and whatever. None of it has to do with anything. But her response was excellent. It was, the one big ginger guy with the bowl haircut who always wore tight black sweatpants still walks around the mall. I saw him, and it took my breath away because I was so shocked. This guy is a legend.
That is great.
Everybody knows about the guy in the mall.
Great.
You know what disappointed me about that? No reference of the NWO sweatshirt. That means to common people who don't watch wrestling, they just see sweatpants and a bowl haircut. But us, NWOites, we're for life. So
I was hoping you were going to say that he commented on that thread. Like the guy has a Facebook page. We need to get him. Wow. We need to get him booked on the Bitter Marks podcast.
I think we do. I think I have to go to the mall.
Whoosh.
Hey, Peewee.
What?
Leg slaps got banned by the WWE. We didn't talk about it the last 2 weeks.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I just wanted your thoughts on it. Besides you totally agreeing with it, most likely.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I on paper and up front, yes, I agree with the. It just looks it takes me out of a match anytime it happens, and it happens 6 times every match. That said, one, I don't believe they're actually going to follow through on it.
That was my next question. Do you think they keep it?
No, and and then 2, I don't really care. I don't watch WWE product. I will watch Mania, and I will watch I'll watch the Rumble, and I'll maybe catch a couple pay-per-views in between if I get bored.
And but people have already been leg slapping anyway. So like.
Since the ban?
Yeah. One of the Usos did it. I think Daniel Bryan did it because they're just like used to doing it because they've been doing it.
So is it making news when they do slap that leg?
I don't think so. I think Vince has already forgotten about it. The rumor
so how do you know about it? How do you know when Uso did it and Daniel Bryan did it? Is this something that you saw while you were watching?
I clicked on the story to read about the leg slapping being banned.
Okay.
And then it said something like Vince saw a very sloppy leg slap and was immediately like, it's over. This is done.
But my problem with this
actually, we have audio from Vince here. Here it is.
Hey, Hunter. I was watching that. What was his name? Owens? Kevin Owens? Did a terrible leg slap. Let's ban those. What do you think? Make it happen.
My problem with this is that it's 2021, right? They've been leg slapping since 2014 at a minimum. At this point, what is banning it? What is banning it now going to do?
I would say since 1997.
You know what I mean? It's who cares now? It's just a part of wrestling. Like you are exactly right. Sean has been slapping the leg since day one. I don't get it. I don't think it's necessary. If you want to slap the leg, fine. Honestly, it has a place. Wrestling is an illusion. If you can slap the leg and it doesn't look like you're slapping the leg, slap the hell out of your leg. I don't care.
What did you think about Tajiri leg slaps?
Ooh.
I was fine with it.
I thought they were the best leg slaps of all time.
It's because he has so much movement in his legs that an extra little slap to his leg from his hand isn't drawing attention to it. He had so much more movement. It's when the majority of your movement is coming from your shoulder down to your wrist and it's touching your thigh, and that's all the movement you have in your kick, and all of the focus goes right to that hand. That's when I have a problem with it.
I leg slap my wife and dog on a daily basis.
Oh, sure.
Do you leg slap around the house?
Yeah, constantly. I
love
like
it.
slapping.
I love it.
Not so much to Steph, just because I'm getting older and I kicking my leg up there, but to Connor constantly. He's the perfect height for leg slapping.
He's like crotch height. Yeah, you can just leg slap away. So like the leg slap, it's used to like sell a kick, right?
Yeah, to make it seem more impactful.
So how do you sell a kick with no noise? Like, are they like adding sounds in production like afterwards, since it's all like recorded bullshit nowadays anyway?
I mean, today probably. Yeah, we'll get more on some bullshit sound in a little bit, but I don't know. I think it's probably just to force people to try and make their kicks look better without slapping. And then they'll just go back to it. It's not going to do anything.
You're exactly right. That it probably has to do with them just wanting them to care more and put more effort into little individual moves. Yeah. But I think starting small when you're trying to solve a big problem is not the way to go at it. If you want to find somebody, don't make the rule no leg slapping. Make the rule you can't do anything in the ring half-assed. You know what I mean? Word it better. But like when I'm throwing you into the ropes, and you and me were talking about this either last week or off air. You don't like when somebody just grabs somebody in a hold and then very gently whips them into the ropes, and then they come back and just take a clothesline. Unless you're getting really like pushed into the ropes, unless there's a lot of effort behind that, there's no sense in taking the move. If you're doing anything that's going to make somebody say wrestling's fake, or that was planned or choreographed, or it's going to take anybody out of the match, then fine them. I'm fine with that. Don't start at the bottom and pick out the little individual things and go up from there. I think they're doing it backwards.
When is your Kevin Nash show? That's coming up soon, right?
I was just talking to Hornswoggle about that today.
Good night, everybody.
It is April 17th. I am desperately trying to get booked for this show.
That's hilarious.
I don't think it's going to happen. Obviously, if it does happen, I will let you guys know. But I am desperately pushing, like playing pulling on Swoggle's heartstrings, saying my kid has never seen me in front of a live audience. He's never seen me in the ring, period. I need to show him at least one time in my life that this is what Dad does. This is where Dad really strives in the ring. I actually am afraid that Dylan's or Swoggle's eventually gonna be like, okay, fine, you're booked, and then I'm gonna have to do it. Then I'm gonna have a week to get in shape, and then 2, I'm gonna get in the ring, and all Connor's gonna see is me yelling at these young kids who are doing nothing but thigh slaps and throwing people into the ropes with no effort.
You're gonna be winded, like just counting down, like after your first 2 counts, you're gonna be like,
yeah, absolutely. There's no question about that.
Do you have a legitimate fear if he says like, yeah, you're in, then like, oh my God, I have to figure out how to like work today? Like you're going to get like a Sami Callihan match versus.
The short answer is no, I'm not. I wouldn't be scared. I would want to get into a ring before. I wouldn't want my first time getting in a ring in 10 years to be like after the bell has rang. You know what I mean? Like after the show has started. I definitely would need to get in there and get a feel for things again, but at this point, it's a moot point. I don't think it's going to happen.
To get back into the ring, you're going to have to call 1-800-ROCKIN' Randy, which I believe ends after like Rockin' R, and the rest is just you continuously to hit the button.
Well, if they have a Wisconsin chicken match, I think you're a shoo-in. I think you're in on that one.
I saw something interesting with your boys, the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast. Yes, said it with confidence.
Nailed it.
And they are doing a show called Toyhio, which is a toy show in Ohio. Very clever. Very clever. And this show happens to be on Saturday, June 19th, which just happens to be my birthday.
All right. Oh, there you go.
Road trip.
We doing this?
Depending on COVID, I may go and stand outside of the building wearing a mask.
I mean, it would be. I'd have to figure out the timeline. But if you really were interested in doing it, I would be more than willing to look into it and sign up as a vendor and make a road trip out of it.
Wow. That's the problem is I can't give you a like quick enough answer.
Sure.
So it's like, do we wait longer and then maybe you can't get in or whatever?
It could be sold out now, right?
Yeah. I just thought it was a very interesting date and time. I don't normally celebrate birthdays. I'm one of those people who's like I took my birthday off of Facebook so people don't know when it is. which now I just completely messed that up. But
you gave out your phone number in episode like 4.
Yeah, also don't go check the show notes, as it is in many show notes. So I don't celebrate birthdays, and I also don't like having people at my house. But before COVID happened, I was talking to my Uncle Bob, and he was like, I only talk to him once every couple of months. And I was like, I got to make a better impression. I have to just get over it, I will have a birthday party. So for 2020, I was like, I'm going to have a barbecue and invite all my family, like the ones that I want to come over, and like have a party and celebrate my birthday. I planned some golfing like outings with my Uncle Bob. I wrote everything on the fridge as like, you have to do this. Even if you don't want to, like, this is good. Like, see your Uncle Bob. You love your Uncle Bob. Go spend time with your Uncle Bob. Have your cousin Melissa come over with her daughter, because I have a small family, like I should be doing these things. And then COVID hit.
Right.
And so that's all completely scratched, obviously.
Erase the entire refrigerator, right.
And yeah, now it's just, I don't think I care anymore.
You've had it so good for a year, right? You don't want to. Are you getting worried that the world is getting, I don't want to say back to normal, but it's at least shifting in a direction, a tone that's headed that way?
No. And I am joking. Like, I do want to make a better effort to hang out with my friends and family that I want, that I would like to hang out with. Because like I always do that stuff, like where I just, no, I'm good. I'll stay home. I don't want to do this. And that's not a way to live, especially now when we are getting significantly closer to dying on a daily basis.
Very quickly, right.
Yeah.
I'll just say, down here in parts unknown, Peewee is like a minute and a half from a fantastic golf course. So, just saying.
I'm already too worried about my back in this wrestling ring that's possibly going to happen. I will not risk my back to a golf course.
Will you carry our bags?
Yeah.
I'll drive the cart.
You could do a ride along, dude. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, I definitely do that.
I'm in bittermarks golf tournament and Hawaiian barbecue.
Thank God that Kowalski lives like very far away, because he would just destroy us on the golf course, like always does.
I'm flying him in as my ringer. Impact Wrestling. I talked about some noise being added. WWE has added noise to their television show. So they have the crowd. Everybody's on these monitors and everything. I like it. I like how it looks for them, especially, doing what you can in these times.
Okay.
But they pipe in sound, and it is kind of like, okay, no one's chanting Goldberg. We know no one is chanting Goldberg, especially if it's over a computer. People are just swearing at Goldberg. I'm assuming.
Right.
So I turn on Impact Wrestling today, and they have the Good Brothers, who lost the Impact tag titles this weekend. And they come out and they're challenging, they want their rematch. And they come in and they go, "We want our rematch." And the crowd goes crazy. And first of all, I hate it because they're heels. Why would the crowd go crazy for a rematch given to the Good Brothers? But more importantly, there is zero crowd at the Impact show.
Right. There's not even a Thunderdome or whatever they have. Right.
There's no Thunderdome. You can't see one fan. There's nobody. There's not somebody who you can see dropping anything. And so I wanted to see what you think about that. If I'm wrong, am I wrong to be mad at that?
I actually see it their way. I think the commoner will get lost in it, and they're not paying that close attention if they're not a diehard wrestler. They know diehard wrestling fans, whether they make a crowd noise or not, are going to tune in, right? So that crowd doesn't matter. The audience that they're really looking for is the general person who's only like on the fence, a wrestling fan, on and off, flicking the channel back and forth. They want to give them a reason to stick around. So I think what they're doing is just trying to give that viewer a sense of consistency and familiarness for what they know. That the average general populace thinks of wrestling as being in front of a crowd. They're used to the big pops and they're used to the big reactions. So why not put those in and make them feel more comfortable instead of having this? I'm just playing devil's advocate here, but I do think that has to do a lot with it.
I didn't think that you sounded very adamant about that argument.
Right.
Because to me, I get what you're saying. It does make sense, but first thing that pops into my mind is, but there's no one here. Like, where did that come from?
But for the most part, you can't see the audience with the way that TNA or Impact records, right?
Yeah, because there is none.
Well, right, but I'm saying they're close up on the ring, and you can't see like the empty chairs or the empty space. You can just see the wrestlers.
See the empty space. They're constantly moving back and forth. They do close-ups when the people come down the aisle. It's like, I don't know. I think it's more obvious in their arena.
What do you think about? I asked Putski this the other day, and he didn't really have a thought one way or another. But going back to the Thunderdome, I believe the story on the Thunderdome is that when you get selected to be on your computer, and you basically just watch Raw from your computer, but they have a webcam on you and they're broadcasting your face. Yeah. But then also in the little corner, they have the producer telling you exactly what to do. Boo now, cheer now, do the Daniel Bryan yes chant now, or do whatever. Then they get the one where you get the entire crowd and a heel comes out and the entire crowd is booing. And not only are they booing,
thumbs down.
Is there any other instance in the world, sports, non-sport, whatever, any other thing in the world where there are fans, and fans, when they don't approve of something, they are still thumbs downing whatever they don't like?
Jerry Springer, maybe?
Oh, that's a good call.
Okay, that is a good call. Okay.
Maury Povich.
Me and Putski was like, I think they do it in the NBA. He was naming all sorts of things, and I disagreed with him, but I didn't know for sure. The Jerry Springer is a good call.
Yeah, with sports, it's kind of weird because, like, obviously they would boo the away team.
Boo, but booing is not thumbs down.
I was going to say, but I don't know about an actual, like, I don't know.
But watch Raw or SmackDown. It's literally a heel comes out and 90% of the audience is just thumbs down. Boo.
I'm not against them doing that either. Like, do what you have to do to make your show look good.
I'm with you. I agree.
The people who are going to be like sitting there waiting to get on that show like that, they want to participate in stuff like that too. I might have wanted to if I was a kid or something. You know what I mean? Like, it's like an experience or whatever. But the experience would be so much better if your view was like a view from your television.
Yes.
Yeah. Instead of
you're just a ton of web cameras that shot back to. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I agree. That would be something. But I don't know, Producer Tony, you're our IT guy. Is that possible?
Oh yeah, it's definitely possible.
It's definitely possible, but why would they do it?
But here's the thing: that's very expensive.
Right, and they get nothing. The WWE gets nothing out of it other than enhancing the viewer's experience by a very little bit.
I'm surprised they even
except enhancing the viewer's experience.
They don't care. They don't care.
I'm surprised they even go as far as to crowdsource it. I thought they just pulled in people from their corporate offices, friends of family, just like somebody.
No, it's a big thing. You have to sign up for it a day in advance, and you get put into a pool, and
you have to wait an hour before Raw even starts, at your computer.
Oh, so they're checking to make sure that everybody's feed works. That makes sense. Yeah.
I think Jeff Jarrett was on it once.
That's great.
I wonder if he had to wait, or if he got special treatment. Got a little poster update. So the poster that we had, one of 5, that last week we gave it away, and Will, our dear friend Will, won it. And so I texted Will and I said, hey, you happen to win. I don't know if you watch our show, but you won the poster. What's your address? And I got no response from Will.
Great.
And then he has tweeted a lot, and we have talked via Twitter and other ways. But the only way that I contacted him about the poster, he did not respond. So
let it ride.
This week, our dear friend Bishop came and visited me at my home.
Uh-oh.
And he had a little surprise for me. And so I ended up saying, hey, this poster is unclaimed. Would you care for this poster? And he said, absolutely not. It is priceless, and I cannot take that from you. And I said, no, it is unclaimed. And if there's anyone who would want it, I assume it would be you.
It's true.
And he was like, "You're wrong again, but yes, I will take it if it's up for grabs."
Right.
So I gave it to Bishop. So I'm
Okay.
sorry, Will. You can still claim it. You just have to text me back your address, and I will go print another one.
There you go.
Frame it and send it, and it will be a 1 of 6 poster.
So not only did Will change his phone number, he's been texting me nonstop, and he's pissed. He wants his goddamn poster.
I don't know whether that's true or not, but it's funny either way.
Oh, also on the other poster, the other extra one that we have, the one that you mistakenly sent me, we agreed that we were just going to give it to Putski, big fan of the show. He's been on the show before. Putski came to my house on Friday. He came over after he was done with work. He came out over for dinner, hung out with me and Connor. We played video games. And then Putski left my house without taking the poster with him. So I still have 2 posters at my house.
The Kellys win again. I mentioned Bishop obviously coming to my house. The reason why he came to my house was because last weekend, I believe, it was about a week ago, he sent me a text message, and he goes, "Hey, if you don't want these, I'm going to throw them all out."
You mentioned this last week on the show.
Okay, and it was I just don't think I mentioned it was Bishop, but it was our dear friend Bishop. So it was all these VHS tapes that he had, and I said, "Yeah, you got to come down and I offered to pay for shipping, but I believe he was coming down this way anyway, so he was like, "I'll just when I'm coming down there, I'll let you know, and I'll just drop them off." And so on Sunday, he texted me in the morning, and he came and he dropped these things off. And oh my God, there were so many tapes. There were 6 boxes of tapes. I counted them. There's over 350 wrestling tapes.
I would have loved to see Megan's face as you guys are just loading box after box after box of VHS tapes into your house.
She's like, whatever, do whatever you want. My car has been parked outside. Now, I always park my car in the garage. We have a 2-car garage. We have 2 cars, so we always park in the garage. My car's been outside since Sunday because there's no room for my vehicle.
Oh.
So I started going through 350 tapes, and not only that, he's like, I have some figures I'm gonna bring you too. And I was like, okay, whatever. You bring whatever, and I will accept it. I didn't know he was bringing new in-box ECW figures, original ECW figures, a Jim Cornette figure that says like F you Donald Trump, love Jim Cornette.
That's a real thing. That's a real thing.
All kinds of almost 30 figures completely, and Pez dispensers and Matchbox cards, and just like so much stuff, so much ridiculous stuff. And so I was like, man, I don't know what to do with all this stuff. I mean, clearly I'm going to be selling this stuff.
You know what to do.
And I told him, I said, I can't accept all this without putting at least one of your children through college, because we're going to make some money. And so I posted all of the figures that he gave me.
You got it all listed?
Yeah, all in one day, posted it.
Jeez, that is a ton of work.
Today, I sold 2 figures, the first 2 figures.
Okay.
And one of them was the only figure that I really had trouble parting with. All of them are like awesome figures. Balls Mahoney, New Jack figures. I mean, you name it, there's some amazing figures in there. But there's a Chris Candido ECW figure that I was like, I really want to keep that. Chris Candido doesn't have many figures, I believe. And so that one was kind of hard to part with. But the guy who bought them from me on eBay, he was purchasing a Balls Mahoney, and then he was like, will you take $10 off, or will you give me a price if I get the Candido too? So I gave him $10 off. And I go to ship this stuff. And this guy's address is Lombard, Illinois.
Whoa.
And so I go, listen, man, I work all the way around your town. Like, I am constantly driving around you. You want me to just come drop these off? And he's like, sure. So today I went and I dropped them off, and I met this guy, and I either thought I was going to meet someone young who had never like been to an ECW show, but like wanted to collect because figures are cool, blah, 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 or like someone older like us. And it was someone older like us. I talked to this guy. He had gone to like the Odium shows, the meet and greets over there. I told him about the DCWA and how Atlas Security
Told him about
came.
the DCWA.
Yeah. We went back and forth. It was a nice conversation. Plenty of messages on the eBay about just like, dude, this was so nice. Like, thank you for like talking wrestling. Oh, always good to talk to an ECW bro. He was like, yeah, I just started watching on the network like from the beginning.
Oh, good.
Really cool dude. Totally forgot to mention that we have a podcast that he should be listening to.
Of course.
Excellent.
But I will message him on eBay.
Afterwards, when we go off the air, message me the guy's name. There's a lot of Chicago area guys that are in that Major Wrestling Figure podcast group. Okay. I wonder if it's one of them.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I will let you know.
I'm so pissed that you sold him that Balls Mahoney. I would have bought that from you, like, at a good
I don't know,
amount.
man. These things go for a lot.
Really?
I mean, not a ton, but like the Christian.
No, I mean, really, Tony?
Oh,
you would have
Tony,
bought a
I
Balls Mahoney thing?
The Balls Mahoney is the greatest division in fantasy football. Okay? And I have an entire shelf of figures that I would love to display such a figure.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm not going to do this, but this guy was so nice. And I told him, I was like, the Candido's the only figure that I really want to like keep for myself. And he was like, oh, well, then don't sell it to me. And I was like, no, I got to get rid of it. Just take it now, whatever. So when I was talking to him, I'm like, in 2 weeks, I may message you and offer you double what you paid for me for that Chris Candido figure. And he was like, listen, I understand regretfully selling things. So if you want it back, just like give me back the money whenever. And like, you can have the thing back because I get it. Wow. Really cool dude. He had 2 Greyhounds. He lived on the same street as like an ex-girlfriend of mine. And I was like, I'm pretty sure I dated somebody who lived here. But yeah, really cool dude. But going back to it now, I have 350 wrestling tapes, WCW Masters, WWE Masters. We're talking WrestleMania 2 through 20, the master tapes, ECW white box, like RF video.
Yeah. Have you started to appraise any of this stuff?
No. And I don't know that those videos would go more than, I mean, I even see rare videos going for like $30-$40. I don't think.
No, right. I'm not saying you're going to retire on this stuff. I'm just saying, let's say you take like 5 of the WrestleManias that are in sequential order, lock them together. Yeah. Then if each one of them is worth $7, you've got 5 of them. Now you've got a lot worth selling.
Yeah. I'm going to take a look. There's definitely stuff in there that is worth money. I told Bishop, I'm like, I'm going to give you some money or like something. I have to do something for you because this is like ridiculous. And he's like, here, just tell me if you go through them and you don't want them, let me know and I'll pick them up and bring them back to my house and throw them away.
Amazing. No, you absolutely should give him something, but absolutely do not give him everything, which I fear that you will.
Yeah, I know.
You're doing a lot. I know you, but you're also doing a ton of work to get these things moving. You just met a guy in Lombard randomly to try to sell these 2 figures. Like you're going through stuff to try to get these processed. Make sure you're taking care of yourself and your time.
Coincidentally enough, there was a best of explosion matches VHS, which is funny considering we had one of the worst ones ever last week. But also in this pile of tapes, and yeah, we're going to keep talking tapes. I had tapes when I was a kid. I told you guys, I threw them out. My Nitro, Raw, flipping back and forth. There'd be music videos. There'd be documentaries. There'd be stuff. They were in his tape collection.
Wow.
Yes.
I have them back.
Wow. Oh, that's great, man.
I don't think you guys can read the handwriting, but you can see how small it is.
That's
on this
crazy.
thing.
You specifically have said on this show, I wish I would have never thrown those tapes away and I can get them back. And now, cut to however many months later, you literally have them back.
And let me read this one tape to you. Metallica, The Memory Remains video. Redman, Eric Sermon, and Keith Murray, Rapper's Delight video. Multiple Aerosmith videos. What is this? Cardigans, Love Fool.
Oh, yeah.
Jamiroquai, Virtual Insanity.
Oh, yeah. That's
Conan
a
O'Brien. Conan O'Brien from New Year's Eve 1997, Sanford and Son.
Oh, yeah.
The movie Toy Story. A special from Rowan Atkinson called Not Just a Pretty Face. Music City Wrestling
awesome.
from 11098.
Music City. Oh, that's fantastic.
Saturday Night Live from 1995. Ice Cube, Mac 10, and Snoop Dogg on Soul Train.
Yeah.
And it ends with Gallagher Bookkeeper, the special.
Wow.
That's on one tape. Do you understand why I wanted these tapes? This is gold. I'm sitting on gold. This is thousands of dollars right here.
I just keep imagining Bishop dumpster diving and coming out of the dumpster with these tapes with all this random crap on it.
Dude, it was so incredible. And then there was also pictures in there. Like he had like pictures that I don't think he knew were in there. There's a picture of our dear friend Kurt, Casey James, bloodied, holding up our dear friend Ivica at Kim Jong-ilmatic on Twitter, like up against the wall at the school shows or whatever. Great. There's a bunch of stuff on there. I will tweet those out. There's a picture of Bishop with Rowdy Piper in there.
Get that back to him. I'm sure he wants that.
I told him, and he's like, yeah, I'm just trying to get rid of them. So I'm just going to keep them. So, and by the way, it has to be a complete library. 18 DCWA tapes. Everything the DCWA has ever done. The YouTube DCWA archive page is going to be through the roof. And so now for those, and there's also, here's a tape called Cool, Funny, and Weird Shit I Saw on TV in Serbia, Volume 1. Volume 1, which means there's got to be a Volume 2. But after organizing all those tapes and like condensing them down, it went down to 4 boxes, which still means with the tapes he gave me and the Star Trek tapes that the other guy gave me, I currently have over 700 VHS surrounding me right now. Oh, it's like fantastic. Blockbuster in here. I love it.
That's great. Oh man.
Wanted to send a rest in peace, Ed Mraz. I'm pointing to the sky. Ed Mraz is a name that you guys don't know.
Nope.
But he owned the greatest bar that I've ever been to in my life, the Mutiny. And he passed away, I believe, this week.
Oh, man. Yeah, we had some fun times at the Mutiny. That's when that Grand Am got soiled with my vomit, I believe.
That was the exit. But the
Mutiny, that's right. That was the exit. My bad.
Yeah. You've been to the Mutiny, though, right? The place with the largest urinal in the world?
Yes. You guys played shows there.
Yeah.
Is that really a claim that they have?
They don't, but I've never seen a large urinal.
I thought there was a plaque on the wall. Okay.
Was that the place that had the ceiling tiles like graffitied?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I remember.
Take a ceiling tile home, draw on it, and bring it back, and he would put it up. So like artists would create they would draw Slayer and bring it back and put the tile back in place. So the ceiling was completely covered in artwork, from local people. Yeah. He was so awesome, man. That place, he let any band play there. The shows were always free because he was just like, whatever, let's have music. You'd be playing, and then he would just walk through the stage to get to a cooler of beer and back.
Oh yeah, I like that.
It was such an awesome place. If you played there, they gave each band member 2 free drinks. And it wasn't just 2 free drinks. Every drink was in a pitcher. So you would, and if you wanted a pitcher of beer, you could have beer, or you could have a pitcher of mixed drinks. It didn't matter what you were getting.
Wow.
So everybody just got hammered, except Kowalski would give us his tickets, and then he would drive us home, and we would get hammered on Kowalski tickets.
Ticket for 2 free pitchers of whatever you want.
And one time, there was a man named Sgt Slaughter there. Not to be confused with wrestling great Sgt Slaughter. This was a guy who sold smoked meats out of the back of his van. And so he set up a table in the Mutiny. And at 1 a.m, you've had a lot to drink. You're having a good time. That's when you're interested in Sgt Slaughter's meats. And I ate plenty of Sgt Slaughter meats. Seriously.
Merch table of smoked meats.
Entrepreneur. Yeah, that guy's seizing the day.
But it's not like a case of meat. Here you go. It's open meat. It's just meat on a table. You know what I mean? It's not wrapped. You just go. and you eat it because it's delicious and it's 1 a.m. and you're like, I hope tomorrow I will be okay.
Yeah, you don't ask any questions when you're in that frame of mind, as I know from experience.
And so rest in peace, Ed. One of the best bars ever. It closed like 2 years ago or a year and a half or something like that. But yeah, he passed away. So my cousin Nick actually sent me a text, and kind of sad. All right, I got a game for you guys. It's not as much of a game as some interesting stuff that I found out here. We're going to call this Guess the Funks. Dun, dun, dun. Bow, 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 bow. Slap bass, because of the funk.
Vince outlawed the slap bass.
I found some interesting stuff out this week that I did not know about the funk family. So I wanted to ask you guys. You each get one guess here. What is Terry Funk's first name? Now, am I tricking you? Is it Terry, or is it something else? Producer Tony, what do you think Terry Funk's first name is?
So my options are Terry or something else.
Terry or whatever you would like to guess.
I'm gonna guess it's something else. Reginald.
And Peewee, what do you got?
He's a Texas guy. I'm gonna go with not Reginald. Dwayne.
Terrence.
God damn it.
So
this game is great.
All right, next question. Dory Funk Jr. What is Dory Funk Jr.'s first name? Now, am I tricking you? Is it Dory? Or is it something else?
You're a goddamn genius for creating this game if his name is Dory.
Producer Tony, you got a guess?
Dorrance. I'm going to guess his name is Dorrance.
Ding, ding, ding. Dorrance Funk.
We did it.
Producer Tony takes the 1-0 lead. Now.
That's real? That's real?
Yeah. I'm not a genius, and that is real. Now. What is Dorrance Funk Jr.'s middle name? And the clue is this person is a movie icon to me. Producer Tony, what do you got? It could be one of about 6 names.
Paul.
Yeah, that sucks.
And
I'm angry that you went with Tony first. If I choose Paulie, that's different than Paul, right?
Is that your final answer?
Yes, absolutely.
Ernest.
God damn.
Ernest.
That makes sense.
Funk Jr. Dory Funk Sr. What is his first name? Now remember, it could be Dory or something else. Producer Tony, you're looking at me puzzled. What is Dory Funk Sr.'s first name?
Well, if there is a junior, he has to have the same name as senior, so his name is Dorrance.
And Peewee?
I think the junior and senior is a work. I'm going to go with Douglas.
Producer Tony takes the 2-0 lead based on logic. It is Dory Funk Sr. And then his middle name, the clue is one of my favorite bands. And so this isn't as exciting as Ernest. But Peewee, what do you got?
Catch-22.
That's hilarious.
Well done, but no. Tony, what you got? You got it. You got it if you're thinking of it.
I got it.
That can't be true.
I can give you another hint if you want.
I would love a hint.
Peewee, will you accept this hint if it's just a sound?
I'll take another guess before he gets his hint.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, that's fair.
Dory Metallica Funk.
You didn't even wait for the sound.
Oh, I didn't want the sound. I wanted it before the sound.
Oh, okay.
I didn't need the sound.
The sound is, whoa!
Wilhelm.
He got it.
We got there.
He got it.
The sound would not have helped me.
Dorrance Wilhelm Funk Jr. Now, here's an interesting thing. Terry Funk, Dory Funk Jr., Dory Funk Sr. You thought they were Texans, but they were all not born in Texas. Where were the Funks born? And the clue is a very close casino town. Producer Tony, what you got?
Casino town that is close to us?
Yeah.
Oh, to us. I thought you meant close to Texas.
No, sorry. Us.
Let's say Indiana? I don't know.
That is not a city, but we will accept it.
Oh, okay. New Buffalo. Wait, that's in Michigan. Never mind. Hold on. God damn it. New Buffalo, Michigan.
There you go.
Peewee.
I was going to go Blue City, Michigan.
This is going great. Hammond, Indiana. The Funks were born in Hammond, Indiana.
That's interesting. Considering how much Terry Funk is associated with Texas, that is very interesting.
Very crazy. And now, the final question. If you get this, you don't have to purchase the Ricochet shirts.
Ooh, you got my attention.
Shit.
I hear the clicking on your keyboard here. Peewee, what is Flash Funk's name? First, middle, and last.
Oh, man. John William Smith.
None of those are correct. Charles Bernard Skaggs. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Guess the Funks. All right, now get ready for the most boring segment.
Oh, Jesus, that wasn't the boring segment.
That was not the boring segment. No. This is boring. I'm going to give you guys 5 facts. These are the most boring and awful facts I've ever heard. So I just want you guys to respond to them quickly. Like, I'll give you a fact. Peewee, you say something. Producer Tony, you say something. I don't care if it's related to the fact. I don't care if it's something you want to get off your chest. Let's just try and make these 5 facts entertaining in any way possible.
All right.
The reason why I am saying these facts is because I need to put this in the episode description because I want us to get a New Mexico listener. And so This segment is called Great Things in New Mexico.
Fantastic.
No music, because that's how boring it is.
Are you cutting any of this, or is this all
no.
Fantastic? Okay,
this is
great.
the next 200 episodes of ours. So,
Great.
New Mexico has the highest amount of PhDs per capita.
First thing that came to my mind is Doogie Howser from New Mexico?
All right, Producer Tony?
I remember a line in The Simpsons where Mr. Burns asks Smithers, he's like, wait, there's a New Mexico? So that's all I got.
Microsoft was established in a garage in New Mexico.
I like that show with the what is that show, Tony? The HBO show about starting computer companies.
Silicon Valley?
Yeah. I like that show. That's kind of like that. Doesn't take place in New Mexico, but everything else is the same.
Do you ever see that mugshot of Bill Gates when he got arrested? It's from like the 70s or 80s. It's a great picture.
That was a flyer for one of my band's shows at the Mutiny. How about that?
Wow,
way to bring it all back. What a pro.
Take it home, Jesus.
Santa Fe is the highest state capital 2 miles above sea level. So it's not even a drug reference. That's how boring.
I was going to try to make a drug reference with that. I have no connection to Santa Fe at all. I couldn't even tell you what corner of the square of New Mexico Santa Fe is located.
Is Santa Fe related to Tina Fey? Producer Tony, what do you have?
You guys have seen Breaking Bad, right? You know that show takes place in New Mexico. That's just a good show.
Oh, but not Santa Fe. Okay, I was going to say
not just the state. I'm just
it's New Mexico. I knew that makes sense.
This makes sense too. The first atomic bomb was exploded in New Mexico.
Let's just change this into a Breaking Bad podcast. I'd love to talk about all the 5 or 6 seasons. That was literally the best show on TV ever.
That's a fact that they exploded a nuclear bomb in New Mexico, and it was an improvement.
And the last
one, going to war with New Mexico.
The last one. New Mexico has more cows than people.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me. There's nobody there. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of states over there are like that, right?
I assumed all states were like that. I would have guessed every state is overrun with cows.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
All right, that was great.
I'd like to see the figures on Wisconsin now that we're talking about cows.
I'll get those for you next week on Great Things in Wisconsin. All right, guys, the PWI 500 is here, baby. I have gone through the work. If you don't believe me, check our YouTube page. Look at this. Look at these brackets.
Jesus.
Handwritten.
That's not a bracket, dude. That's just fucking.
This half is one side. This half is the other side. I
How
have
many are on there?
128, which is all we're going to get. It's 128 different things about our show.
The fact that you were able to handwrite on one single piece of 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, 128 different topics and fit them all in so they're semi-legible. That was an impressive feat.
So we have moments from the show, segments from the show, stories, appearances, merch, 128 different things. And here's what we're going to do. The three of us for sure are each going to do a bracket. We are not going to tell each other about the bracket. And if any smooth babies want to participate, they need to contact us, and I will email them a bracket. But this isn't just a bracket thing. Like, it's not going to work like a NCAA tournament where you fill out the whole thing. It's got to be a week-by-week thing, because I'm going to take, like, the votes. Like, we're each going to pick one of two things. And so let's say there's 5 people. If 3 of them pick one thing and 2 pick the other, the 3 advances.
Okay.
And then the after a couple days, when I get everybody's round of 128 done, then I will send out the round of 64, and it will continue.
Okay, that makes sense. So you can't fill out round 2 because or the winners of round 2, because you don't know who's in round 2 until we get all the votes from round 1.
Correct. So
that
everybody who wants to be a part of this has until Sunday at 7:28 p.m. Central Standard Time. You have to get those into me. Or at least tell us, get on our Twitter, email us, text me that you want to be involved. If nobody's involved, it'll come down to the 3 of us. The 3 of us have to do it. Guys, please. Please. I think it's going to be fun. I know I can feel it, like in your heart. I can see your face, you're frothing at the mouth. But I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised with at least some of the comedy that goes into it. And I'm hoping that we get an interesting ending to to figure out what the kind of maybe the best thing that happened on this show thus far was.
So you are the selection committee. You have already ranked all of 128 things. Is that correct?
Yeah, and rank was kind of like that's a word I wouldn't throw around.
Right.
I just kind of listed 128 things, and I couldn't think of any more. And I asked you guys to help me, and I got 0 response.
True.
So I asked Putski to help me, and I got some response, but a lot of the there was a lot of overlap in it. There's like 1 or 2 things on there that I forgot that I'm going to replace some stuff on. So yeah, 128 things because I couldn't think of actual 500, but we will call it the PWI 500.
I like it. Yeah, I do like but that's my favorite part about this whole thing is the name. You could, just to make it fair, and if it's easier for you to randomize it, just throw all 128 topics into a randomizer online and just have it spit it back out, and whatever the order comes out, that's the order of the brackets.
Fair enough. This would have been great yesterday. I would have really appreciated that. But if you want to be part of the PWI 500, just please let us know, like I said, by Sunday at 7:28 Central Standard Time p.m. And you will also join in on the fun. If we have an even number of people and there's a tiebreaker, I will just ask my wife what she thinks.
I like it.
All right, we got some emails today.
Hold on, go back. Do we need to do predictions on what's going to win overall?
Next week. Save some for next week, Peewee.
No, I'm not saying now. I'm saying in general. Is that the main goal of this? Is the goal just for us to figure out what the main topic is, or is the goal for somebody to attempt to predict what the number 1 is?
I think the goal is just to produce some content, but whichever way you want to go. I mean, I think next week we could do some predictions for it.
Okay, maybe on the bracket, when you send it out, include a line on the bottom. What's your prediction for the winner?
Okay, I like it. FDT. We got some emails this week. Our dear friend John from Washington chimes in, and subject line is comedy here. And he says, my first time doing comedy was at my best friend's funeral in front of 200 devastated people.
Hot start to this email.
We would always watch comedy roasts, and he talked all the time about wanting to be roasted. Here are some of my jokes.
The guy who died.
Correct. Context.
Wow.
The guy who died was 6'6", 160 pounds.
So he's about to do a roast as the guy, like basically the best man of this funeral, and he's gonna roast the guy who just okay. All right, go ahead.
6'6". 160 pounds.
Wow.
I believe that's Connor's size. Is that?
Oh yeah, he's on track. Yeah, absolutely.
Context. He was 6'6", 160-pound man. Kurt's mom, Marcia, told me the average cremated remains weigh 6 to 7 pounds. It's good to see Kurt put on some weight. That's when you find out he's been cremated. All right. And the second joke was, Kurt always used to tell me he wanted to be roasted. Well, and then he looked over his shoulder at the urn. John in Washington, I believe that you would you'd fit right in with all of our friends.
Absolutely.
This is fantastic. Everyone was laughing while crying. Afterwards, everyone came up saying how awesome I was. His mom told me it was perfect, and now she knows why we were best friends. Others asked if I did public speaking as a job. I don't. Even the dude that does the ceremony that works there asked if I would be interested in a job. He's getting job offers from his roasts. Since then, I have done a couple of open mics. Also, Diego Sanchez was the first person to do the Daniel Bryan yes.
Oh, okay. I thought he was talking about another Diego. Okay, wow.
Daniel Bryan found it so hilarious that he started doing it. Also, thank you guys for the awesome shirt, John. I sent John one of the original Producer Tony t-shirts.
Collector's item.
Which reminds me, we have 3 left. I have one in large, one in extra large, and one in 2XL. So if you're somebody who has not gotten one of these and you want a free shirt, just let me know and I will send it to you. No questions asked, to whichever address you tell me to.
And just take a photo of my face on your body in like the most hilarious situation you could think of. I think that's the price of this shirt.
Fair enough. And if you refuse to do that, that's also accepted. Just get these shirts out of my closet. I had to Google who Diego Sanchez was. I am not a UFC guy.
Wow, I was going to guess baseball. Okay.
Yeah, I found out he is a UFC guy, and I watched his entrance where he comes out to like Queen, We Will Rock You or something.
Okay.
And he's going, yes, yes, but it's not to the music. It's just random like yeses.
Oh, okay. Is there a finger point or just like a fist pump?
I don't remember.
Okay, so the fist bump is just like him clubbing. It's just like him, like a night out on the town.
I'll tweet it out. It was funny. The guy's like very intense and just walking out like yelling yes. And,
I think I remember that guy. I think his nickname was like the Nightmare or something like that. I want to say that I remember him.
Okay.
There's actually a video where he says that he is not mad at Daniel Bryan for taking that, which is interesting. I mean, Bryan made a career out of that. I mean, that's the height of his wrestling career.
You're not wrong.
And Diego Sanchez, you guys want to know where Diego Sanchez is from?
Where?
New Mexico. It all comes back together. Got another email from Dawkin Kruger from Seattle, our dear friend Dawkin Kruger. He says, watch K. Trevor Wilson being a unit of measurement on YouTube. This is a comedian who does a bit on Saturday Morning Jobbers, which I will play right now. I don't have the clip.
Right.
Thanks, Dawkin Kruger.
What did you think of this thing? I thought it was. Oh, you didn't watch it? Oh, I watched it before we went live. It's a guy talking about like the jobbers in the mid 90s or mid 90s, late 80s, and how you knew a guy was a jobber when he came to the ring, and he just when they cut to the ring, there's already a guy in the ring, and he gets no theme music. He's pasty and he doesn't have a nickname. His name is Scott, and he's just a guy. You know he's gonna lose. To me, it was, and he's doing this at like in the middle of his set. To me, these jokes did not work or land with the people that were watching. And this is like a big YouTube show. I don't know who the guy was, but it seemed like it was on a big channel, and he's like a big performer. But for me, the jokes that he was making were just like too niche and too wrestling related for a general audience to get.
So would you say I'm a better comedian than this guy?
Oh, absolutely. Hit us. Give us with your third best joke right now.
All right, here it is. We got a message on Twitter from @RockBelboa. His question is, what are your top performers of the 80s? Picture a pro wrestling 80s Mount Rushmore. Decide and discuss who they are on your next podcast. Thank you. Peace, love, and happiness. My favorite part about this message was that it was at 3:27 a.m.
Yes, 3 a.m. boys.
My second favorite was that we did some sleuthing, and we believe that this is our dear friend Costa in Nevada, in Las Vegas, Nevada. How about that?
That blew my mind when you said that, Costa. If it is you, I haven't talked to you in like shit. How old are we? Probably 15 years. Hope you're doing well out there. I'm gonna start this off because I was thinking about this, and I want to get my guy in before you guys steal it.
Okay.
Because he's probably going to be on all of our lists. And when I think 80s wrestling, I think like neon colors, flamboyance, promos, and cocaine. So it's got to be the Macho Man Randy Savage as the first face on my Mount Rushmore of 80s wrestlers.
I like it. Keep going. Give us all four.
Okay. Number 2. A guy that was always over, and looking back, I don't think he was appreciated nearly enough, and that's Ravishing Rick Rude. Excellent mustache. The tights were always a big thing for me when I was a kid, and just a great worker overall. Number 3, Andre the Giant, because I mean, it's just Andre the Giant. I mean, how it doesn't get any better than that, right? And I'm not going to put Hulk Hogan on my list. And the 4th one,
Horace Hogan.
Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig. Those promos back in the day were fantastic. He another guy who was just a great heel, and that's my number. That's my 4.
What about you, Peewee? Who's your Mount Rushmore?
Yeah, I like this question because when I first saw the message on Twitter asking us this, I did what I normally do and just like quickly read it over, and then I immediately got angry at it. I'm like, our Mount Rushmore of 80s guys, I think we've done this already. This isn't a question. It's Vince, Andre, Hogan, and Macho. But then I went back and read the question. He didn't want to know just like who's your Hall of Fame guys from the 80s. Like that I know we've talked about. This question specifically, or who's your top 4 performers of the 80s?
Yeah.
To me, obviously, that's not Vince. He's not a performer in the 80s. To me, that's not Hogan. And honestly, Tony, I don't think Andre is a top performer in the 80s. Andre's there, and he's iconic, and he's a mountain of a man, and he's the definition of 80s wrestling. But performance-wise, I don't put him on my list. Obviously, I do put Macho Man on there. I do put Rick Rude on there. But the other 2 guys I had were Piper and Jake. And just because their performances, not only in the ring, which both were phenomenal, but mainly out of the ring behind the microphone, you can't beat either one of those guys on the mic.
I like the way we all took this because we all took it a little bit differently. I also looked at that word performers, and I'm like, well, what is a top performer? I mean, Hogan was a top.
He was at the top, I guess you could
exactly
put it that way.
Exactly, and he was a performer, so you could take it that way. So I didn't want to take it that way for the same reason I think that you did, Peewee. It was like, I don't want to say Hogan and Warrior and Macho Man and whatever.
Right.
So probably my like underrated guys who were excellent performers. So I also had Mr. Perfect and Rick Rude.
Okay.
Because hell yeah. Too sweet.
We just too sweeted through the Skype
digitally.
And my other two, Rick the Model Martel, huge fan of, and Ted DiBiase, who I believe the most underrated wrestler of all time. No love for Ted DiBiase as far as like work, like not just the character and how awesome that stuff was.
He can't be most underrated of all time. He was a champ at one point.
Kind of. He was handed a
he was
title.
More of a champ than Jake ever was.
That's true. That's why Jake's not on my list. I only pick champions, you know.
You don't like snakes.
I also fear snakes, yes.
I only pick champions on his list of top 4 underrated guys.
None of which were champions, by the way. I know exactly what you're saying, and underrated is not the right word, but I don't know. I love Ted DiBiase. We got one more question here. Putski actually messaged me about the poster, telling me how he forgot the poster.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And he said, I have a question that I asked Peewee, and I know he's going to forget, so will you say this on the show? And I said, sure. He said, which era did more individually for wrestling? The Hogan Warrior era, Stone Cold Rock, or Cena Daniel Bryan?
We argued about this.
To me, you throw out Cena Daniel Bryan. I don't even know if it is a Cena Daniel Bryan. I kind of picture them on two different eras.
Yeah, I said the example I gave him was the first two, the whatever it was, Hogan and who did he say? Who was it? Hogan and who?
Hogan Warrior era.
Yeah, Hogan Warrior, Austin Rock, and then I said Cena Orton, and I said I don't even think we came up with a fourth one, but if you want to go with fourth, go Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns, yeah.
I argued that for Tony keeps thumbs downing everything after I said nobody thumbs downs anymore.
I'm doing it just to fuck with you, Peewee.
It's great. My argument for against Putski was that he kept trying to make a point for Austin and Rock, which yes was massive. Today is 316 Austin, whatever. But my opinion is that you don't have Austin Rock if you don't have Hogan and Warrior, or Hogan and anybody, whoever in the 80s was against Hogan. It doesn't matter. If Hogan's not available in the 80s, if you don't have the Hogan character in the 80s, wrestling doesn't become what wrestling is.
I mean, I agree with you that Hogan made wrestling mainstream. Without that, I don't think Austin Rock is as big as it is. But because of that, I think Austin and Rock was even bigger than that era. So it's tricky question, because Austin had way more success.
Honestly, this is one of those questions that I just don't care about. I don't think the answer matters one bit.
I agree. We just have to agree that it's not John Cena or Daniel Bryan.
I agree. Tony, do you have any thoughts on this? And it's fine if you don't.
It's only John Cena.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Just John Cena. Friend of the show. You got to talk about foundations, right? And I think the Attitude Era and the NWO stuff only worked because the 80s set the foundation for us, right? So if you don't have that foundation, I think it's hard to picture.
You actually touched on it too. Who started the wrestling boom in the 80s? It was Hogan. Who started the boom in the 90s before Austin and Rock? It was Hogan.
Hogan. Yeah.
It's everything revolves around Hogan.
Yeah, that's a good point. Good point.
That's a terrible sitcom, by the way. Everything revolves around Hogan. But yeah, that would be my answer. Is Hogan Warrior.
We also have hot off the presses. This email just came in. I lied. We had one more. This came in at 8:43 p.m. So 17 minutes before we started this show, and it's from Hattori Hanzo. So we got to read it. The subject is the Mickey bump.
Oh.
And he says, get ready for the Mickey Doyle ratings bump. And then he leaves a picture. And the picture is a review he left. And it says, all smooth babies should read about Irish Mickey Doyle. Reviewed.
This is an Amazon review for that book that you bought.
That is correct. And he says, I was listening to my favorite wrestling podcast, Bittermarks, and there was a story about an independent wrestling show in Iron Mountain, Michigan that involved Mickey Doyle. Not familiar with Doyle, I decided to research, only to discover a fellow Michigan native that spent time working for the Sheik's big-time wrestling promotion. A few clicks later, I'm on Amazon buying this book. Wrestling fans do not always have the opportunity to learn about the journeyman. I'm I am pleased that Tim Keenan convinced Doyle that his story was worth telling. Everybody Loves Mickey is a quick read. I completed it in one sitting, and has some of the pitfalls of an independently published book, but the story is solid. Enjoy the career of Irish Mickey Doyle and the stories about the Sheik, Bobo Brazil, Roddy Piper, Freddie Blassie, and others. And the best part about this rating, he gave it 3 out of 5.
So did he talk about the grabber that he had at the show you guys were at?
I'm going to guess he doesn't, because if he did, Hattori Hanzo definitely would have brought that up to us, right?
Yeah, I did a quick breeze through, and he did not talk about it in what I saw. But he did talk about stuff from like 2014 or 16 or something, like later in the career when he did his last match, or I don't know, because I haven't read it yet. But yeah, I'm going to read it one of these years. I will sit down and I will read this.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, Irish Mickey Doyle.
There you go.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. Thank you, Hattori Hanzo. Thank you, everybody, for the emails and for listening, as always. Next week on the show, great things in Wisconsin, predicting what's going to happen in the PWI 500, and probably definitely the first couple of rounds of results of the PWI 500. And I don't know, that's about it. What's making me bitter this week is Sling TV. The last 2 weeks, Sling TV has not recorded SmackDown or Impact Wrestling on my television. It just decided to stop. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because producer Tony hacked my computer over here and is trying to make me angry. But I'm recording it again, and so hopefully it's working. Sling TV is taking away my wrestling. Pluto TV, they have 2 24-hour wrestling channels. Pluto TV, the best app on earth. Peewee, what's making you bitter this week?
I think this is going to be a hot take, and you might even yell at me for that. Restaurants who offer tipping for pickup orders. I don't need to feel like a dick for no reason when I go to pick up my pizza. After all I'm doing is calling you, you're taking my order, and then somebody in the kitchen is making that pizza and then handing you the pizza to then give to me. I don't then need to be asked if I want to give you extra money for whatever you just did. I don't need to feel like a dick because I'm shorting you when I'm really not. I'm paying for the pizza. I'm paying for this transaction. I tip people who help me. I talk about this on the Flips and Bumps podcast, flipsandbumps.com. I tip my mailman. I've tipped the Target guy who helps me find Ninja Turtle stuff. I tip all sorts of customer service aspects when it's earned. If your job doesn't warrant a tip, don't ask me for a tip. If you warrant one, you'll get one.
I agree with you, and it's not just like a pizza place. It's every single place in the world now is like, oh, you want to add a tip? And I'm like, no, I am at a sperm bank.
You are right. That it's right. But literally,
I'll give you a tip.
Goodwill does this. You check out at Goodwill. It's your order. Your total is $2.69. They'll ask you, do you want to round up the extra 31 cents? No, I don't want it. I know I don't want to tip you.
Yeah, it's just a ploy for them to make more money. The thing is, 90% of our friends, and I will not name names, but I will say that 90% of our friends are horrible tippers. And so this is this is a good thing that maybe they're getting it on the back end eventually. So tip your local people. Specifically restaurant people. Restaurant people make $3 an hour. And by the way, if you're going to make fun of restaurant people saying, well, they choose to be restaurant people, then you can't goddamn tell me that teachers are worth a goddamn penny. Okay? Producer Tony, what's making you bitter this week?
Peewee, actually.
Yeah.
You kind of stole my thunder earlier when you guys were talking about the Ricochet stuff. So on my Plex server, I can kind of see what's being watched at any point in time. And I happened to check it last week, and I saw somebody was watching the Lord of the Rings movie, the first one. So I'm like, oh, great. Peewee's finally living. He's finally paying off the bet that he lost last year, where he has to watch all of the Lord of the Rings movies. And I looked and see who was watching it, and it was Bishop of all goddamn people. So, goddamn it, Peewee, pay your debts.
And
watch the movie and tip the goddamn service people in your life. And fuck Steve Blackman.
I'll do the last one.
Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/bittermarks. New episodes drop every Friday morning, bittermarks.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram @bittermarks. Email us, bittermarks@gmail.com. And last but not least, buy our shirts, prowrestlingtees.com/bittermarkscom. That's COM as in, that's good podcasting. Peewee, Producer Tony. See you guys next week.
I really need to start thinking about what I'm going to end this podcast with before we end our bitters, if at a minimum. So whatever. I'll do it next week.
No, you won't. Bye.